If your neck is chronically sore or your back is chronically sore, most of us will say something to the effect of, I'm just getting older. But the truth is, it's probably not your age, it's actually probably your bad habits. So I'm going to go over the top 5 worst habits that my clients have talked about that I think really contribute to a major part of their pain. Stick around till the end and we'll actually throw in a 6th bonus tip. Bad habit number 1, and these are in no specific order, they're all just bad. So, bad habit number 1, sleeping on your stomach. A lot of people ask me what the best position to sleep in, and the truth is, side body or back, totally fine. There's not really a better option there, but sleeping on your stomach, truly terrible for you. If you're stuck down with your head turned to one side for hours, your neck will seize up, your low back will seize up, and you will wake up stiff as hell. While it's really hard to unlearn sleeping on your stomach, because you've probably been doing it since you were a small child, it's worth the effort. Here's how you do it. You're just going to need to get a bunch of pillows and or a long body pillow and block yourself in so that you literally have to sleep on your side or your back. It's probably going to take a few weeks to a few months to really get completely out of the habit, but you got to trust me, it's totally worth it. And if you are doing that on a daily basis, all the massage in the world will probably not completely counteract your symptoms. Bad habit number 2. Working on the couch with your laptop, staring down at the screen in this position is horrible for you. Yes, it's called a laptop, but honestly, you should really never type on your lap. If you have a laptop for work and you have to travel a lot, I highly recommend using the desk at the hotel. And if you're working at a home office on your laptop, I highly recommend setting up a station with a laptop stand and potentially even an external keyboard that will put you into a proper ergonomic sitting position so that you're not doing this, because that will really, really kill you. Again, like habit number 1, I certainly can make you feel better as a massage therapist, and I can certainly counteract your symptoms. But if you're doing that for 6 to 8 hours a day, all the massage in the world is not going to fix that until we make you work in a much more ergonomic way. So, don't do that. All right, worst habit number 3. Sitting for more than 45 minutes at a time without taking a break, getting up and walking around a little bit. All right, if you are like most people and you have a job that involves being at a desk and you get focused and you get locked in, a lot of people, including my clients, will tell me that they sometimes sit for 4 to 8 hours without moving. That will kill you, and I want to tell you exactly why that's a really bad idea. So, if you've heard about fascia, or not heard about it, and go look it up. Fascia is the stuff that your body makes to glue all of your cells and muscles and bones together. It is designed to lock into the shapes that you use the most. So if you sit for long periods, your fascia will stiffen into the shape of you sitting, which is great for sitting. It's really awful for standing, or running, or walking, or doing anything else, right? So, the cool tip is if you counteract that process by getting up every 30 to 40 minutes and just walking around and doing a little loop of 1 minute, go to the bathroom, go get a bite to eat, go get some water, just something. That's all you need to reset the cycle and start over. And then when you sit down again for another 30 to 40 minutes, it'll be fine. But if you go past that mark and keep sitting for another hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, your body will start to shape itself into the chair, which again is really bad for standing. So don't do that. Habit 4 is a little specific, but it's one of my major pet peeves. Wearing flip-flops. Flip-flops are the worst shoe design in the history of the human race. It's no cushioning, no support, and a little thong that you have to hold on with your toes, or you take a step and it goes flying. And if you're just doing this with your toes, walking around for hours, that tension will go all the way up the backside of your body, right up to the top of your head. So, don't do that. Sandals are fine. Anything that's got a heel strap that will hold it onto your foot without having to use your toes to hold the shoe on is totally fine. Some sandal designs do seem to work for people and don't do that. For me personally, I put them on and the minute I just relax my foot, they go flying the minute I take a step. So if that's you, ditch the flip-flops, get some sandals or something, Crocs, whatever. Crocs are kind of hip right now, although they're ugly. I have a pair, they're great. But ditch the flip-flops. They're the worst thing ever and you will thank me. Before we move on to tip 5, I just want to take a little time to tell you about our massage services in New York City. Because if you're dealing with these issues, you're probably in chronic pain, which guess what? That's what we do and help with. So if you're in New York City, click the link below to book a massage today and hopefully we get a chance to work together. Okay, so I'm supposed to be looking at and telling you about habit 5, which guess what is looking down at your phone. So why is that so bad? Well, in the same way that sitting on a chair with the laptop and doing this puts your neck in a horrible position, looking at your phone does the same thing, just at a different angle for your back, right? And so this and sitting there all day will build up tension. In fact, there have been some studies to show that that builds up so much tension that the tendon pulling on this point on your head starts to create a unicorn horn off of your skull. Look it up, it's terrible. What is the solution, right? Well, I think we all could probably benefit from a little less phone time, but hey, I'm a business owner, I am constantly using apps on my phone to do things as well, I get it. So, one solution is to hold the phone like this at eye level so that your neck is in a nice relaxed position. Of course, you won't be able to do that for the hours and hours you usually spend looking at your phone like this because your shoulders will get tired. And that's actually a pretty good indicator that you should put the phone down and take a break. But again, this is the best way to look at a phone if you have to look at a phone. This really ruins your neck and shoulders over time. So don't do that. I talked about a bonus tip, here it is. Never stretching or mobilizing your body, right? We talked about the bad habit of sitting for way too long and how that locks your body into this sitting position. I definitely want you to get up into your chair and move around more, but if you can add in some really light stretching and mobilization throughout the day, you're gonna just feel so much better. We talked about getting up, walking around, doing light stretches, but there's also stretches you can do sitting as well. So if I'm stuck doing a bunch of desk work, whether it's admin stuff or designing the website or cutting videos like this or something, I might not feel like I want to just jump out of my chair and walk around because I'm in a flow. But I can put my knee up here and do a nice little hip stretch to keep those muscles from locking up. I can do a little bit of that on both sides. Even while I'm working, talking on a Zoom call, whatever, I can do little twists in the chair. I can do a little bit of motion. I can do some neck stretches. And I said earlier that I get up about every 45 minutes and walk around, but even during that 45 minutes, I'm usually doing a little bit of that all the time. Just feeling what's tightening up, giving it a little movement stretch, and then getting right back to work. And so just practicing more awareness of what your body feels like and what it's telling you and actually listening to it is the #1 thing for you to have less pain. Right? Nothing else we do really matters without you gaining some ability to notice your pain and then do something to end the pain. So, I just showed you a couple examples, but if you really want to learn how to do some at your desk stretches, we have a really great video for that right here.